Welcome to Talking Black and Blue, where the rivalries run deep and every Sunday is a battle. I'm your man, Will McCann, and along with my partner, Tellis Everett, we're a couple of fans from the heart of the Midwest bringing you real talk and weekly breakdowns from the NFC North, the Black and Blue division. So whether you rep green and gold, Honolulu blue, purple and gold, or you rep the monsters of the Midway, you are in the right place. So lace up, strap in, and let's talk black and blue. Tell us, my man, what is up?
What's up, friends and kinfolk? We appreciate you guys joining us. As always, thank you for supporting the Black and Blue podcast. Tell all your football friends how much fun we have over here. Just a quick reminder, Will and I are real estate agents in the state of Michigan. Will, what's going on in real estate for you?
I've been looking a lot in, community where I live here in Oak Park, Michigan, and I'm always looking at trends and what's happening in my community. And, we've had probably about a 6-month period where there hadn't been a lot of properties moving. But man, over the last, I want to say 90 days or so, there have been a lot of properties moving in the area, man. It looks like the market is heating up in my area. Okay. How about you?
Well, let me ask you this. Are you seeing homes that are selling, are they turnkey, or is it more or less they need some work? What's going on there?
A lot of the ones I've seen in my area, they are a lot of turnkey properties that people have owned for quite some time, and then people are older community where people are moving out and either family members or they've sold it to a rehabber who's, updated the house and gotten them ready for sale. Most of them are getting their asking price. They are 95%, getting 95% of their asking price on average. So it's been pretty good here recently.
Yeah, so I'm seeing a similar thing over here where I'm at in West Bloomfield. People are getting probably 95 to 98% of their asking price. But if your home is not turnkey, meaning these new owners don't have to put a roof on there. Your windows are not 20 years old. They don't have to update a kitchen or a bathroom.
Yes.
And you're priced correctly. Your house is selling within, 14, 15 days, right?
Yeah,
It's going under contract under 14, 15 days. If it goes past that, then your home is going to be overpriced and you're going to have to make some adjustments. But the market is heating up. I know there's a lot of national news saying that real estate is down, but here in Metro Detroit, the numbers are moving in a upward trajectory. So definitely, if you have questions, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in the next 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months, hit us up, Will and myself, for a winning game plan in real estate. Will McCann, what we doing today?
Man, we're having some fun today, bro. The season has started. Everybody has reported to training camp. We've even got to the point today is August the 7th. We've already had the Hall of Fame preseason game, so the preseason has gotten started. So, man, we're getting into our previews today. We're going to be previewing the Chicago Bears, the monsters of the Midway, the first-place finishers in 2025. Going to start with them this week and start to preview all the teams in the NFC North. You ready to do that today, man?
Nice. Can I just say something about the Pro Bowl game?
The Hall of Fame game?
The Hall of Fame game last night.
It felt like the Pro Bowl.
Well, not that it felt like the Pro Bowl game, the way that it was played. But what I want to say is when I see Larry Fitzgerald and what's the quarterback? Luke Kuechly.
Oh, you see
Drew Brees.
Roger Craig.
I'm like, man. Alex, you're getting up there in age, bro.
Yeah.
I remember watching Larry Fitzgerald's rookie season.
I was going to say, when you remember them as a rookie and somebody like Fitzgerald, who you may even remember as a high schooler hanging around the Minnesota Vikings because his dad was a media was
Right.
beat writer for the Minnesota
Yeah.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a kid and now he's retired and going into the Hall of Fame. You
Man,
put some years on, my guy.
man. I was like, let me turn this off and go to bed.
Yeah, you've seen their entire career. Yeah, I think about that about Drew Brees, man. I think of Drew
Yeah.
Brees lighting up Michigan, right, as a
Right.
Purdue quarterback.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
was an
And
adult when he was doing that. Right?
that's my point. I was like, oh my God. And I was just sitting there in silence. My wife was just looking at me. She was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I couldn't tell her what was going on because she wouldn't have understood
Wouldn't have understood. Would not have understood.
that.
Hey, I hear you, brother. I get that almost weekly when I hear somebody's playing and he's so and so's son. I'm like,
Right,
man, I remember when so and so was a rookie. Now I'm watching his son play.
right, right. I bump
Absolutely.
into Tim Hardaway every once in a while, and the last time I talked to him, it was probably about a couple months ago, and I was talking to him about his son, and
Okay.
he had mentioned that I can't remember where he said he was going to be playing or what he was going to be doing, but he
In
mentioned
Miami
that
this year, I think.
yeah, I think so, but he had mentioned that his son had been in the league for like
It's 12,
almost
13 years now, isn't it?
yeah, right. And I was just like, man, I'm gonna talk to you later.
Yeah. You think, well, I remember him in the national championship game in Michigan, right? How long ago? Yeah, you think that was 2013? Yeah.
No, I remember watching Tim Hardaway.
Remember when Tim Hardaway was a rookie, right?
Right.
All right, cool, man. Let's get into the Chicago
Yes,
Bears.
sir. Yes, sir.
Oh man, let's start with okay. Tell me, okay. Well, let me start with we're coming into year two of the Ben Johnson era. Um, what do you think some of the let's talk about them in 2025. What do you think their 2025 was like, and what do you expect from them in 2026?
Well, definitely their 2025 season was, for me, a surprise. I think for a lot of people, a surprise because they came out, lost a couple games, but they just started winning.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Um, so I think for a lot of people, the Chicago Bears actually outperformed the expectations.
I would
Right.
agree with that. Yes.
Definitely. So going into 2026, they have as a team high expectations of performing well. However,
However,
however, I don't see that. I don't see them performing at that level, but I do have a caveat, which is kind of when we get into this a little bit further, you're going to be like, wait a minute.
yeah,
I thought you said that the Chicago Bears weren't going to be. So I do see them having a decent season. I just don't see
hmm
them in performing well. I just don't see them having a record that's going to be better than what they had last year.
yeah, I agree with you. Though I think it's going to be difficult for them to. I won't say difficult. I think they're going to have a difficult time winning as many games as they won last year. But again, I think you and I both predicted 8 to 9 wins for them last year, and that they would finish third or fourth in the division, and they ended up winning the division. Now, some
Right.
of that had to do with a lot of late game magic by their quarterback Caleb Williams. Coming into this year, I don't think you can expect that again this year. That's why I think it'll be a little more difficult for them. They're going to come in with a first place schedule. They're going to have a bit more of a difficult schedule, but I think they're a little better team offensively than they were last year. I think they will be a better team offensively than they were last year, which will be pretty difficult because they were a pretty good offensive team last year. It's defensively, we'll see how they hold up this year. I know they've made some additions there, but yeah, I would agree with you on 2025 being a successful year, and 2026 maybe not as magical as 2025 was. They could be a better team and still not win as many games as they won last year.
I agree with that.
What were some of the key additions that you're looking for this year for them?
Well, when I look at some of the offseason moves that they made, definitely some of the move on the offensive line, bringing, getting Garrett Bradbury, bringing him in, injecting some speed into that defense.
Yeah.
And I know they've added some star power to the secondary over there for them, but it looks like they have some injuries that they're going to be dealing with. So so again, it's not that defense is not heading into the season is not looking like it's going to be a good defense. It might take some time for them to develop and get to where they need to be, where they can complement the offense.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, I agree. I think they're getting Garrett Bradbury, getting a veteran center to come in and play in the center of their line. I forget the guy who retired who played center for them last year. His name eludes me right now. As many times as I said it last year.
Was it Dolman?
Dolman, yeah. Dolman retiring. I thought was going to be significant for them. I thought they may try to draft a center, get a young guy in there and start with him. But they went and got a veteran who's played some snaps at center in this league. It's been a long time starter, and I think that's positive for them. So I think they will still be as good on the offensive line.
Well, they did draft Logan Jones.
They drafted an interior lineman and the thing I like about that is that they don't have to use him immediately, right?
Right.
He is somebody who can work in with the team, with their line. So, definitely looking forward to seeing how their offensive line plays. I think Jones at left tackle is going to be a key player for them this year to see if he can win that job and take the reins on that job, and be the full-time left tackle for their team. I think that will be big for them this year, and we won't see Caleb trying to escape out of the back of the pocket as much. What were some of the key losses that you think may affect this team?
Well, I think, trading DJ Moore. I know that the Chicago Bears have some young receivers that are weapons, and we talked about Loveland at tight end and what he can do. But I feel like, man, I understand that you needed to kind of free up some cap and all that kind of stuff, but DJ Moore, to me, is a solid receiver that you could use and count on, and he's going to catch most of the balls. I think that is a risky move. The other one is not, and I talk about this. We talk about this with the Lions too. Is not having that opposite support for your defensive end and Montez Sweat. Like, they didn't address that. So those two are the biggest issues that I'm looking at, as far as what was bad or maybe risky during our offseason. What about you?
Yeah, I think, Kevin Byard was my defensive player of the year in the division last year, and they lost him, even though he's getting up there in age, and I can understand why they were concerned about taking the risk and giving him another contract. But I think his play, his production, I think they're going to miss. CJ Gardner-Johnson is another guy that they won't have on the team. We talked about, you talked about them being the best defense in the league last year. And it was having guys like Byard and Johnson with those takeaways that helped them last year. And I think those two guys, they're definitely going to miss. And the DJ Moore thing, man, the thing that, Gardner-Johnson has bounced around. as
Yeah.
good as he is. And it kind of makes you wonder, what is it about his personality that seems to rub a lot of people the wrong way? I have to kind of think the same thing about DJ Moore. Even though, as you said, part of it could have been it seemed like cap reasons. And I know they were up against the cap. And if he was looking for another contract, they were definitely not in a position to give it to him. But
Right.
like you said, his impact to the team, man, he was the best receiver on their team. So for them to let him go, sometimes when you're up against the cap, you have to make some tough choices. And I think he was one of those tough choices. But yeah, the defensive line, their pass rush, I will say, is still something I think will be a concern for them going into this season. I agree with you. I'm one of those who people often talk about having another pass rusher opposite the rush in on a defense. It is hard to have two pass rushers, two guys who can get you 20 sacks. What I think you need is three guys who can get you 20 sacks. Because one guy's probably going to give you 10. You need a couple of guys who can consistently give you pass rush. Because it's hard to have the Lions and Houston, I think two other teams, were the only ones who had two guys with at least 10 sacks last year, and the Lions ended up losing one of their guys. So that's always a concern, having pass rush opposite your best pass rusher, and they don't seem to have a lot of guys who can rush the passer other than Montez Sweat. I would agree with you there.
Right. Right.
So what do you think about coaching and culture with this team? Do you think, just tell me what your thoughts are about Johnson as they head into year two and what the identity of this team is?
So definitely Ben Johnson came into the organization competitive, said all the right things, put everyone in the league on notice
Yes.
that that they were going to be a competitive, hard-nosed team. Really, and the coaching staff is really, tied into the details. Dennis Allen is amazing as a defensive coordinator.
One of the best DCs in the league. I agree.
So I feel like they do have one of the better coaching staffs in the league. And, last week when we were talking, did we have them at the top? They're right below the Lions as far
right
as
below the Lions,
the coaching staffs go.
Yeah.
So again, solid coaching staff, the culture, with the success of last year, everybody is bought in. And that was something that we talked about early on, is like, if they're not having success, are you going to have a problem with Caleb?
Yes.
Right. But they had success.
Yeah.
Caleb got better and better.
Yes.
He looked like that young man from college.
Yes.
Right?
He looked like the number one overall pick last year.
He looked like he should have been the number one overall pick.
Yes. When you said should have, you got me for a second. I'm like, was he not? Yeah.
So definitely that coaching staff and culture and what they're doing is right on point, and they're going to have a lot of success.
Yeah, I agree with you. They are a hard-nosed team. They are physical. I'm like Barkley and Charles Barkley in basketball. I don't like finesse teams, right? Because when it's wintertime, when it is January, and you're playing outside or you're playing in the elements, you've got to be a physical team to win. You got to be physical to win on the road in the playoffs. Very few finesse teams are able to go take their show on the road and win on the road. So yeah, I think they've got both the right offensive and defensive philosophies of being physical, running the football in people's face. We're running in the A and B gaps. So tighten up your chin strap when you're in this division, right? And they play right into that black and blue style, both offensively and defensively. They may not have all the horses on defense. But like you said, Dennis Allen does a great job of scheming up the players that he has to play the way that they want to play. So, yeah, I agree with you. I like the culture of the Bears. I like the direction of the Bears. I like Ben Johnson as a coach. Be interesting to see. We talked about the development of Caleb, keeping him engaged with winning. I think they're going to come against some adversity this year. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts to that adversity. I think he has matured beyond what he was his rookie year. Not staying engaged when things weren't going right. I think Ben Johnson keeps a tighter rein on him, and I think we're going to see him perform better with that adversity this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Right.
Right. So other than the quarterback, who do you think is the one player this team cannot lose in order to have a successful season?
Other than the quarterback, it's got to be Montez Sweat.
I was going to say, I got the same guy. They are in trouble if they've got to go 3-4 weeks without Montez Sweat. I agree with you. I think every team, if they lose their quarterback, they're going to have some problems, right? Because if the backup was that good, he'd be the guy playing.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree. That would impact their defense significantly if they end up losing Montez Sweat.
Right. And that is the defense is their weakness.
Yes.
The secondary, let me just say the secondary is their weakness. Right now, going into it because they're injured. Right?
Yes. They've had some changes in their secondary. They've had some injuries. But they lost Tremaine Edwards at linebacker. They lost another linebacker, too, whose name eludes me. I'm concerned about them replacing those guys on the second level.
Yeah.
And what kind of impact that has. And that's in correlation with your back seven, right?
Right.
So in addition to having some secondary issues, if you've got linebacker issues also, it'll be hard for you to defend the pass unless your pass rush is just amazing. And you and I have just said we don't think it's amazing.
Yeah. So on your roster breakdown, it sounds like your linebacker core should be a C, and your quarterback safety should be a B. As grades, based on what you just said, I
would agree with that. I think they should both be C's right now. As I look back at it, as I talk through it, you and I have talked about doing these graphics. I do these graphics all the time, and I'm always updating them. And I can be doing that crap forever, and it's finally, look, I got to stop. I'm tired of messing with this thing. But yeah, if I were to, I would think they are both C's at this point.
Yeah.
And who do you think could be a breakout player for them this year?
Well, I got love for Loveland.
Mad love for Colston Loveland.
He could be the breakout player, but I am going to go with Luther Burden.
You're going to go with Burden. Okay.
Yeah. We always talk about receivers and just having a legit number one. I know him coming in, it's going to be tough. But when you look at what Caleb was able to do last year with just a few no names and Loveland, I mean, if he can get that turned on. And I also feel like the support from Khalif Raymond came over from Detroit.
Yeah.
Knows Ben Johnson's offense. He can help and assist in that receiver room, and making sure that young players are getting to the right spots and that type of thing. But Luther would be my sleeper.
Okay.
But I think it's Loveland.
You think it's Colston? Okay. I'm thinking I would agree with you. I think Loveland is going to end up being the best player on this offense. But I'm looking for a breakout season from Rome Odunze. I think coming into year 3, it was interesting. You picked Bird and I picked Odunze, both because they are receivers for Caleb. I think they're going to try to throw the ball more. I think Burden is going to be more of the possession type receiver. I think Adunze is going to be their big play guy. And I agree with you. I really love Khalif Raymond, man. I love that guy. I think he's going to catch similar to what he did in Detroit, probably somewhere between 35 and 40 catches for the season, which is about 2 a game. But those are going to be 2 first downs every game.
Right, right.
Because he is just that kind of player. He doesn't drop the football, and he is fast and gets up the field. So he will have a couple of impact plays every game. And, maybe the reason he went to Chicago is because he thinks he can get more opportunities. Maybe he can catch up to 60 passes, about 3 a game for him this season. So, yeah, I would agree with you. I think it's going to be a receiver. You've got Burden. We both like Raymond. And I think it's going to be a Dunze, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be one of Caleb's receivers who will be the sleeper who breaks out this year.
Right.
How do you think this team matches up with the other teams in the division?
It's going to be tough for them. I think it's going to be tough.
They were 2-4 in the division last year. What do you think it's going to be like for them this year?
I feel like it's going to be about the same.
I would tend to agree.
The Lions are not backtracking.
No.
Right? The Packers are not backtracking. So then you're just talking about Minnesota,
right,
and what they're going to put on the field, right?
Yep.
And Minnesota's a tough team.
Minnesota is competitive. They are
very competitive.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So I feel like it's going to be a very similar story from last year.
Mm-hmm.
The division is just tough. It's a tough division.
It is a tough division. Yeah. I think there'll be I think they'll be about the same in the division. 2-2, 2-4, 3-3, somewhere in there. It's hard. It's going to be hard in this division for any team in this division to have a winning record. I think was it Minnesota? No, I think both Minnesota and Green Bay had winning records in the division last year, and then both Detroit and Chicago had losing records in the division.
Right.
So I expect about the same. Their biggest rival and the team that I think they have played the most games against each other, the Packers. I think they're ready to. I think this team will be better than the Packers this year, actually. That'll be tough, but I just think I like Ben Johnson's F the Packers attitude.
Yep. We talked about that coming into the season.
Right off bat, right? I think that feeds into the attitude of the team. But like you said, just because the division is so tough, I think it'll be tough. I don't think anybody's going to dominate this division. But I think they'll be right there with the toughness. They play with that black and blue toughness that's indicative of this division. So I think they stack up well, but I think it'll be hard for them to have a winning record in the division.
Yeah, I think against Green Bay, the issue is that they went and beat Green Bay 3 times last year?
Yes, including the playoffs, yes.
So for the Packers, that's a revenge move.
Yes.
And you talk about it every week. There's professional players on each side of the ball.
Pride, yes.
Professional pride.
Yeah.
Green Bay's got something on the line.
Yes.
I can't see Chicago going in and beating them, one more time or back to back, and
right. I can't see them beating anybody in the division twice.
Running the whole season. And the thing with the Lions is both teams it's going to be a high scoring game. So it's going to come down to who has the ball last, which offense performs and is tuned into the details, right?
Yeah.
The edge goes to Detroit because they have the better backfield, right?
Yeah, I always think the edge goes to the team with the better O-line.
There you go. Right.
And I think they may have the better O-line, but not by much because I like the O-line on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Their D-line, I've got some questions about.
Right.
I don't
So
know if their
that
D-line can
matchup,
hold up in those big games.
right. So that matchup is a problem for the Bears.
Yes.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And then and when you look at Minnesota, again, it's that could be a track meet there, right?
If it wasn't, they're the one team in the division who I think defense is better than their offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other three teams, their offense is better than their defense. With Minnesota, some of it has to do with Brian Flores and their style of play. And when you don't know who your quarterback is or what you're going to get from your quarterback, you tend to play a lot of defensive games. You play to what you are. So yeah, I think they'll have a hard time. The Bears
I
will have a hard time with keeping up in scoring with Green Bay and Detroit. And like you said, I think the edge will go to Detroit in that battle just on paper right now. But I think Chicago is better than Minnesota. And I think if Caleb takes the next step, I think they're better than Chicago because I think Caleb has the capability of being a little better than Love.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't looked at the schedule, and that's a bad thing for me. But do you know when Chicago plays Minnesota?
Um,
Is it later in the season?
Give me a quick second and I can tell you.
Because I'm thinking, to your point, if it's early in the season and you don't have that quarterback situation figured out, that could be a tough game for Minnesota.
For the Vikes, yeah.
For the Vikings. But if it's toward the end of the season, then you might have a better chance because then your big game threat is JJ. I meant to say Justin Jefferson.
That's the JJ you meant. All right, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pick on McCarthy so much, man. I was sure you were coming for me.
Because the problem, as we talk about the Chicago Bears, their vulnerable side is the back end or the defense, right?
Yeah. Okay, so here's the
So you got the
schedule.
Vikings week 2.
Week 2, they go to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Week 5, Green Bay. And then Detroit, not until the second half, I think. Yeah, they don't play a game in Detroit or against Detroit until week 12. So, yeah, they can catch Minnesota early.
But they got the Vikings last game of the season.
They end with three of their last 4 games, I think, are division games. No,
Yeah.
3 straight. 16, 17, and 18 are all division games. So, yeah,
It's not looking good for you, Chicago.
it'll be, they're not sneaking up on anybody this year.
No, not at all.
All right, so let's talk about predictions for the Chicago Bears for 2026. Tell me what your best and worst case scenario is for this team for this year.
Best case, 12-5.
Okay.
Worst case, 10-7 or 9-8.
So you think this team's going to have a winning record regardless then, right?
Oh yeah, we haven't gotten to it, but my MVP candidate for the league is Caleb Williams.
Okay.
And I think because he's gonna throw over 4,000 yards, he's gonna have those miraculous end of the game moments, right? And this team will struggle. They're not going to win the division. They're going to struggle to get into the playoffs. They'll get in as a wild card. They'll win a wild card game.
Okay.
Right? So I do have them with a winning season. Best case 12-5, worst case 9-8.
Okay.
10-7 gets you a wild card, I think.
10-7, I think in the NFC would get you into the wild card. I agree.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I think they'll win somewhere. Almost the same prediction I had for them last year. No, because I said a little bit better this year. Because I think best case for them would be 11 wins, and I think the worst case for them would be 9 wins. I think they're going to be a good football team. Also, nobody's going to be dominating this team. They're going to be in every game. I think
Right.
Ben Johnson isn't going to let them slip that far. I just think it'll be hard for them to duplicate what they did last year. And again, that's assuming that everybody stays healthy or that they're relatively healthy, right?
Right.
I just don't think they're going to get as many breaks as they did last year, even if they are a little better team. That's why I kind of see, when you look at seasons like they had last year, but during the regular season, they won 5 games um, with scores in the fourth quarter. 5 comeback wins. I don't see them duplicating that this year. Even if they win 3 of them, which would be 3-2, that's still 9 wins for them based on what their record was last year. So I think they're going to be somewhere in that range. My projection for them would be that they're going to win 10 games and that they're going to make a wild card. And we'll see about. I'm not sure yet if I. Believe that they're going to win a playoff game, because if you're a wild card team, you've got to go on the road. Winning a playoff game on the road would be tough. So I don't know if I'm ready to say they will be that good, but if they can run the football like they did last year, run game and defense travels. They have the run game. Do they have the defense to win on the road? That I'm not sure about.
Right.
So what is your bold prediction for the Chicago Bears for 2026?
Well, I just gave it.
Caleb that they win 12 MVP. Games? Oh, that Caleb is the MVP.
Caleb Williams is the MVP, right? While being on the Madden cover.
Yeah. Hey, I hear you. My bold prediction was going to be, and it's centered around Caleb Williams also, and you already said it actually. Caleb is going to throw for over 4,000 yards this year.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think I was going to say he's going to be a Pro Bowler this year was going to be my prediction. I wasn't going all the way to MVP, but I think he'll be a Pro Bowler this year.
Yeah, yeah. This is a legit Pro Bowler, not a. This is a 1972 Pro Bowler, not a.
This isn't a. What did they call it? He would be a. Somebody came because I've been called. I said I was going to stop calling it a Shador Sanders Pro Bowl because he certainly isn't the first guy to get that Pro Bowl nod. Like I said, Matthew Stafford was MVP off of one of those replacement. He's not going to be a replacement Pro Bowler. I'll call him that. Yeah, he's not going to be a replacement Pro Bowler this year. He's going to legitimately be selected as a Pro Bowler this year.
That's right.
30 is the number. I think he's going to throw for 30 touchdowns this year.
Okay. That's a heavy number.
That is heavy, for sure. So the young man plays and he doesn't throw picks. That's why I think he's going to get a little better this year.
Yeah, and hopefully with the younger receiving core, they can avoid some of those turnovers, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully with everybody on offense understanding the offense a little better, even though he didn't have a lot of them last year. He did have some key ones, as every quarterback is. Nobody goes through the season without throwing any interceptions, right?
Right. But he doesn't turn the ball over.
He does not turn the ball over. The two things I like about the kid is he shows up every week and he doesn't turn the ball over. If he can continue to do that, I think he can continue to develop. I'm still troubled that people put together top 10s that have Caleb Williams and not Jared Goff. And what I hear everybody justify it with is Goff doesn't have a superpower. And he doesn't. He's just got more wins, more touchdowns, more Pro Bowl appearances than any of these other guys that they're putting ahead of him. So I have a hard time with that.
And a Super Bowl appearance.
And he's played in the Super Bowl. And he's played in the NFC Championship game. So I'm not sure where, you know me, you don't get credit for what you can be if you've never done it, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So that wraps it up for the Chicago Bears, man. Any closing thoughts on the Chicago Bears?
No, I think we covered it. I think, saying that they're not going to be as successful record-wise as they were last year. They will be a better team.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that.
They have a target on their back.
Yep.
Teams are coming for them.
Yes.
Right? In and outside the division. So, again, they should end with a winning record. They should get into the playoffs. That's where I'm leaving it for them. And Caleb is my MVP candidate at the beginning of the season.
All right. Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm in agreement with you. Interesting that you picked them to also win a playoff game. So that will be interesting to watch them do that this year. To me, that is a successful season to me, regardless of whether you make the Super Bowl or not. If you can go on the road and win a playoff game, man, that is hard to do. Matthew Stafford, last year's MVP, I think in his career has only won one road playoff game. All of his playoff wins have been at home, so it is not easy winning playoff games on the road. What that separates you from everybody else when you can win playoff games on the road.
Yeah. I'm laughing because you use Matthew Stafford as your reference. And he played for 14 years in the league before making it to the playoffs.
Well, he played that long before winning a playoff game.
Right.
He took some teams to the playoffs and went on the road and got slapped around. Even though that Dallas game they should have won, had the Lions gotten a correct call from a referee, maybe they could have won that game. But still, that's just a maybe, right?
Yeah, you got to play through the refs.
You got to play to the end. There are no excuses, right? Right. I always say players make mistakes, coaches make mistakes, refs make mistakes because they're all human. You got to play through all of that if you're going to win.
That's right.
All right, my guy, you got the casual rocking the Century 21 shirt. I like it. But go ahead and put a bow tie on this episode.
All right. Hey, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. You know, Will and I love talking football. But when we're not breaking down the NFC North, we're helping people buy, sell, and invest in real estate. If you have questions about your next move, don't fumble the ball. Contact us for a winning game plan in real estate. Fellas, share the pod with your buddies. Ladies, share it with your crew. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't be a knucklehead. Drop us that 5-star rating.
Absolutely. Folks, we appreciate all the support we're getting. Everybody who's listening. We've started the 2026 season. We're going through the Super Bowl every week. So be on the lookout for us every week, and we will see you next time.
Yes, sir.